Hello, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Decided to do this pop-up live. My wife and I just came back from Las Vegas. We had a nice little Mother's Day getaway. She wanted to go to Las Vegas, and that's what we did. And had a nice, enjoyable evening, and drove back today. And now she's out enjoying a Mother's Day picnic with a group of mother friends of hers. So I thought, hey, let me pop on. I know this week is just going to be absolutely crazy for me to try to do a live during the week to just talk about the upcoming Carnival Radiance cruise, what my vlogging list kind of entails. I know that I blasted out that I'm going to start doing this like first timer, new, and I kind of want to clarify. And hey Meg, how are you? Thank you for being here. But in general, I just wanted to. This is going to be probably more on a rewatch. I know it's Mother's Day. I know a lot of people are busy, and I just decided to do this at the last minute. So this won't be your traditional live shows that you would normally see on YouTube. I wanted this to be more of a Q&A if we got people in here. If nothing else, it'll just be more of an informational video for those that are had followed along, had said, hey, yeah, we do want to watch your live. I talked about doing a live show on while I'm on the Carnival Radiance. So I'll be on there May 13th, that Friday. And I was thinking on May 14th, that Saturday, because it's a C day, that I'd pop on, and do a Q&A session for people that had questions while I'm there. Hey, Kathy. Hey, welcome in. So what I wanted to do is kind of go back to, I've done a bunch of different videos. Those of you that have been following my channel know I've been doing a bunch of different videos, and I kind of want to bring them together and make them a little bit more generic for a couple of reasons. One, I want the ones that are kind of universal. For example, I keep using the same thing, like those kiosks are kind of universal. You'll find them on many of the Carnival ships. So those will go towards my first timer, new Carnival cruiser, because you could be a seasoned cruiser and still be a new Carnival cruiser, right? You could be new. You probably sailed on Royal or NCO or any other lines, and you might be new to Carnival. So there's a lot of questions you may have. So I kind of wanted to make that like a generic version that for any type of new Carnival cruiser. And then I wanted to cover any time of these first-time questions that come up all the time. And I've been getting a really good feedback through Facebook groups, through all these different conversations that I've had with people. And that's what I've generated this list from that I have. So like, kind of starting out in the parking structure, there's so many different questions there. And all those different things is try to kind of pull those in together. I know in my videos, I've talked about the Amazon lockers. I've talked about the where to get a boarding pass if you failed to print one out, where to go get a luggage tag if you forgot to print one out. Like, for example, I had a situation where my room had changed, so I had printed out my luggage tag, but I forgot to reprint it with the new room number because I had done a balcony upgrade. So luckily I knew where to go. Hello, Facebook user. I don't know who the name is. All it shows me here in YouTube is Facebook user. So if you could pop into YouTube, that'd be great because I could see your name, or just let me know in the comments who you are so I can acknowledge you personally. But thank you for being here. Yeah, I am back from Vegas already. Yeah, it was a quick trip. We left yesterday, went there, met another couple, or some friends of ours. We hung out, had a good evening. Vegas is one of those things, the longer you stay, the more trouble, especially financially, you can get into, because my wife and I both like to gamble. So it was one of those things. So yeah, we just went out there, had a really enjoyable evening, had some food, drinks, gambled, hung out stayed up until almost 2:00 in the morning with our friends, just hanging out, walking the strip, all that stuff, and then came back. But anyway, so yeah, back to this. So for the Carnival Radiance, what I wanted to focus on, again, is just those type of things. So anything that has to do with the park structure, how much it costs. Like I said, in various videos, I have this information. So I notice I get asked a lot, even on a video that somebody watched. That's one of mine. They'll ask me a question. I'm like, oh yeah, I've covered that in another video, but not in this one. So what I want to do is try to pull all that together. And so kind of starting with the parking structure and then working through into the terminal. I'm finding out more and more information from people that work in the terminals about certain things as I'm, as I'm trying to do this. And hello, Sharkbait Lucky. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. So, and if anybody in here has questions, I know some of the people in here are people that probably have already cruised the Radiance before, but if you're new to the channel or new to the Radiance, feel free to drop the questions in here. If you're watching this later on, because I know, again, it's Mother's Day, people are busy, whatever. If you happen to catch this, it comes to you as a YouTube recommendation or anything like that, drop your question down in the comments below, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all that stuff and I'm going to put them into my master list. I'm trying to figure out the best way, because there's so many different places that I'm getting asked these questions. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is ask it in the YouTube video if you can, because I always go through and answer those. And if not, try to answer. If you're not part of my Facebook group, The Beach Life on YouTube, it's the best way to find it. Do a search, Beach Life on YouTube. Just go in there and ask the question. I'm trying to just kind of get them all together, but I'm in all these different areas. I'm trying to grab them and put them into the master list. But I want to make sure you have the answers. So what I'm going to do, and again, just keep this in mind. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, I'll do a recap afterwards and answer all those questions. That's the easiest way for me to do it. I'm not going to remember, because I've already have a whole long list of questions that were asked, who specifically were asked all these different questions. So what I'll do is I'll answer them in a recap video after the cruise. That's the best way I could do it. And then just come watch the video and hopefully you'll get your answer. If you don't see the video or you didn't get the answer, feel free to connect with me on the Beach Life Facebook group and we'll get it answered. One way or another, we'll get you your answer. That's what I'm here for. Hello to, let's see, I just want to say something. I don't want to go through a bunch of highs and lows, but I just want to acknowledge the people that came in and said hello. Because again, this was just a pop-up random live. Jan and Travels, thank you. Thank you for being here. Steve Morales, thank you for being here. My best friend, Evan Goldberg, who will be on that cruise with me. Those of you who watch my videos know Evan. He'll be on that video. He is an awesome friend, helps me with a lot of the videos, does a lot of the camera work and stuff with me. So thank you, Evan, for being in here. Happy Mother's Day to Sean. Jermaine Key, hello, says, hello, honey, just subscribe to this YouTube channel, following your Facebook page. Thank you, Jermaine. I appreciate that. And yeah, this is what this is all about. It's trying to get to these all the different Radiance people that I've been talking to. As most of you know, I'm an admin on the Carnival Radiance cruise page. If you're not already connected there, go over to Carnival Radiance cruise page. And that Facebook page is specifically for the Carnival Radiance. And then we have roll call groups. So if you're in a specific sailing, and again, if you're watching this on the replay, Carnival Radiance cruise page is the main Carnival Radiance page, where we have, I don't know, 3,000 plus members now. It's growing like crazy. And then we have the roll call groups is what they call them, and that's for your specific sailing. And if you don't know how to get to it, let me know. I'm managing a list of those. So hit me up and I'll make sure to get you a link to your sailing. And I also have another Facebook page called Carnival First Timers Cruise Tips and that type of things. So, and again, if you're looking for any of these things and can't find them, just let me know. I'll be happy to help you. I can't find the live on YouTube. Facebook user. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let me drop the link in here. Give me just a second. Or can one of the mods, Meg or something, could you drop the link or find out who Facebook user is and get them the link? I would appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Hey, NAS Evolution, my buddy. Highs and hellos. I know, right? Facebook user, do you use U.S. cash or exchange for pesos in Ensenada? Oh, it's Christine. Hey, Christine. So I use U.S. cash, and yeah, and it's worked for me. I have no issues. Now, a lot of times you're going to get change back in pesos. So, you could either use it if you're going to buy other things. You can use those pesos, which I have. And so a lot of times I just take them home and they make a nice souvenir. So, yes, you can use U.S. cash, but most of the time, just be aware. Now, some places will take credit card, depending on how comfortable you are with using your credit card down there. I'll use it at like anything like a major type place, like a Walmart, like not here in Ensenada specifically, but like if I'm in, let's say, Puerto Vallarta or that kind of thing. But anyway, the liquor store that I've been to numerous times, those either watch the videos, Licores Plaza, and where Victor works, I use my credit card there. I'm comfortable with that one. But in general, again, based on your comfort level, and the exchange rate then is a lot better when you use your credit card. Just keep that in mind. And let's see what else we have here. Let's see, Brian. Hey, what's good? What's going on, Brian? Thanks for being here. How far are the shops from the port in Mexico? So Brian, that's a good question. And somebody, that's funny because in one of my videos, the cash question was from Mary Jo. Okay, thank you, Mary Jo, for that question. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want my live to be kind of focused on what I'm working on here in this case, and that's the Carnival Radiance. So it'll be specific to that. So thank you. I appreciate that. How far are the shops to the Port of Mexico? Okay, so Brian, when you leave, and I don't know if you've seen any of the videos. So when you leave the ship, so there's two different places the ships can park. So your distance of travel may be varied because somebody was just asking me, well, how long is it? Well, there's numerous factors in that, right? There's one that's a little where the ships anchor. There's one that's a little further back. One time when I went there, we were there. The last few times I went there, Royal Caribbean was parked there, ported there. And then so it kind of goes like this. So then like one ship would be here, one ship would be here. So, so you got to factor that into the walking time. And then when you leave that, you kind of walk off the ship and you go around to the port and then walk towards that flagpole that unfortunately hasn't had a flag forever. And then you walk into the downtown area from there. So long answer to your short question, I would say depending on how fast you walk, I'm a fast walker. It would take you probably 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. If you've got mobility issues, obviously, probably a lot slower. So hopefully that answers your question, but not very far. Oh, and Brian, just keep in mind, if you're not a walker, which a lot of people are not, you can, okay, thank you, Christine. If you're not a walker, and that's fine, not many people are, there's a shuttle that goes from the port to a drop-off point. It's $4. Now, I've heard there's multiple drop-off points. I personally have not used it. I'm a walker. I love to walk. I want to try to get my exercise in when I can. But it will drop you off. From what I've told, one of the drop-off spots is over by the Hotel Bahia, which is right there, into the shopping area. So if you don't want to walk, Brian, just take the shuttle and that'll drop you off right into the shopping area. And then your minutes, like literally a couple minutes from any of the shops. So hopefully that answers. If there's a specific shop you're looking for that's from one of my videos, let me know and I'll try to guide you there. So let's see, any other questions in here? Okay, no questions for right now. So I'll kind of go down. Hello to whoever said hello, Mr. Skiles. Again, I'm just seeing you as Facebook user. If you can come over to YouTube, I can see your name and I can acknowledge you personally. If not, let me know who you are so I can acknowledge you. Mass transit also works. Yeah, they do have, you're right, Steve. They do have all kinds of, taxis, Ubers, all that stuff. But I'll tell you that $4 shuttle, and it's funny because from what I've heard, again, I haven't used it. If you go one way, it's $3 round trip, $4. I don't know why I didn't split it in half and do it $2, but anyway, it's cheap. It was fun. Live guitar on the bus. Oh, that's pretty cool. You know what? Well, one, because I wanted to walk, but the other thing that I wanted to get on it just for vlogging purposes, Christine, and why I decided to get off is they're waiting to fill up the bus, which I understand. I get that. I understand they would want to fill up the bus as much as they can. I'm pretty impatient, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk anyway. So I was gonna do it just again for vlogging purposes, but I got impatient and decided to go. Hey, Richard Carrier, welcome in, buddy. Happy Mother's Day to Donna. But okay, so and Teague Neal would be the other person from Facebook. Okay, welcome in, Teague. All right, so I did mention so for embarkation day, I wanted to cover the parking situation and all that stuff as much as I can, and again, as generic as I can. Talk about the terminal and all the different boarding procedures and stuff. I'm going to be platinum on this next cruise. I know that they have like a captain's area or captain's lounge, which I've never been in before. So I'll probably add that to my vlog for those that are curious about that. So I know in my past vlogs, again, and this is because they're all kind of spread out into different vlogs, I've covered if you've got, if needing special assistance, right? And those type of things. So what I want to do is try to make and I don't want it to be super long, but I know that, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've done polls and stuff like that. People are like, I don't mind watching a vlog, informational vlog that's a little longer if it's good, if it's good information that I need. So something, thank you to whoever said, Honey, you're so cool, dude. Appreciate you. And again, if you can jump over to YouTube, that would be great, just so I know who you are and I can acknowledge you. But anyway, thank you either way. Just got off the horizon. Be prepared for staff shortages. Emergency issues are slow. Good luck. Thank you, Mufasa. Yeah, and listen, I've been on the I've been on the Radiance here multiple times lately. Nice, congrats on getting. Thank you. And Brian, I'll address that. And and honestly, I'm in Arizona. I grew up in San Diego, but I'm in Arizona. But if there's somebody else that might have that answer, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. If there's somebody else in here that would like to answer that, I'm gonna throw that up there in case anybody. Evan, loves seeing you in the vids, brother. All right, little shout out to my buddy Evan. Hey there, T. Welcome in. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, T. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I want to kind of consolidate as much of that because it's really good information. But sometimes some people will watch one video, they'll not go back and watch some older videos or whatever. So I want to try to bring some of that stuff into like one more recent video. When I get on, I want to cover the muster drill. This is another big topic because it keeps holding things up because people are not aware of it. And I try to tell somebody, and I want to go back to Mufasa's comment. I didn't purposely try to ignore that. I just kind of went in a squirrel moment. But yeah, the muster, it's very, very important. And I was telling somebody last time I was on the ship, we have to keep in mind that there's some people that are very new. They haven't been on a cruise before, and they may not know what that is. I know that it's talked about, but not as many people do as much research as we think they do. And so you're going to have some of those people. So if we as vloggers share that information, if Carnival can do a better job of sharing that information, or any other cruise lines that are having the same issue, that would be great. I want to go back and talk about Mufasa's point, but Kathy's saying same day health in Long Beach does the rapid test and PCR. So Brian, same day health in Long Beach does a rapid test and PCR. So hopefully that helps you. And Richard, let's see, Richard said you can do a tour of our suite. So those that may have, oh, thank you, Richard. Yes, that is on the list as well. So thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. Yes, lots of first timers on these shows. Exactly. And it's crazy how many, I'm in a lot of these roll call groups, and they, so many people are like, hey, first time. It's great. We're, the cruise family is growing and growing, and we need to, kind of all be there for each other. But anyway, I want to go back to Mufasa's point. He's talking about the horizon, but this is an issue all the way around, right? And we're seeing it more and more. Actually, the last cruise that I was on was April 1st. Shortly after that, when I was on that cruise, I noticed on the April 1st cruise, the pizza place only had one person working. I went there 3 times that I remember, one person working, long lines. It was very slow. I went and found something else to eat. Come to find out, now I think they've shortened the hours. This is information I'll get for you guys and report directly. But I guess that's the place. The place is called Same Day Health, Brian, in Long Beach. That's what Kathy was saying earlier. Okay, so, and then afterwards I saw a post about that there weren't washcloths in the room, there weren't pool towels in the room, there weren't glasses that normally they would leave in the bathroom, for like rinsing out your mouth, those kind of things. And you had to ask for them if you want them. So there's things that are constantly changing, and that's what I plan to do, is try to get this information and then report it back, as accurately as I can, right? So that, things are constantly evolving and changing. And that was the point I made in my last video that I'm going to make here. Guys, use YouTube as just a guide to help you go and research more information. Carnival being the final place, right? They're the ones that own that information, because if you go on a cruise and there's something that goes wrong, you can go back to their website and say, hey, wait a minute, this is where I did my research, not YouTube channel or this and that. They could care less, right? Because we only know what we know, and they allow us to know. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Are there any other questions? Going on education. Okay. I'm wanting to create a YouTube or something. Okay. Sorry. I'm just trying to focus on Carnival Radiance stuff. This is not, as I mentioned earlier, I am, going on the Carnival Radiance, and this video is specifically for Carnival Radiance cruisers, whether people are going to be watching it now or on a replay. So guys, I know you guys are used to the traditional live where we do a bunch of highs and lows and just general chit chat, but I'm just trying to keep it focused on Carnival Radiance talk. So again, when people are watching on the replay, they're not going to just go, oh, okay, well, they're talking about some random stuff, I'm dropping off. So please I apologize in advance. And if this is not for you, it's okay. That's what the live show is going to be about here. This pop-up live. Okay, let's see. Mufasa said, "I'm Diamond. Thank you for the info." Yeah, no worries. Yep, that's what I'm here for. Let's see. Just people saying, "I found same day hell." Thank you. Okay, cool. Glad you found it. So that question got answered. So as I'm waiting for any other questions to come in, let's see here. Going in September, what time is the best? Well, welcome in, first of all, Janelle. Thank you for being here. Going in September, what time is the best check-in time? Well, it depends on where you're coming from. And are you an early bird or whatever? Like usually whenever me or Evan are checking in, we try to get the first check-in time available. All right, guys, since you're all here and we're all friends, I'm going to teach you a little trick that some of you may not know, especially your first timers. When you do your check-in, okay, just do the skip to next, skip. I can't remember the exact term, but skip for now or whatever it is, and go all the way to the end and get your boarding time, get your check-in time. Excuse me, not boarding time. I don't want to confuse the two. Get your check-in time and then go back and fill in on the information. Don't take the time to fill in your boarding pass passport information, all that. Skip all the way to the end, get your check-in, and then come back and fill it in. You're welcome. It works. I do it every time. So if you're looking like we do, we like to do, and like to get the quickest or the earliest check-in time available, skip all the way to the end, get your check-in time, go back and fill it up. Anyway, so thank you for being here. There's your helpful hint for that. So to answer your question, Janelle, the best check-in time is what you think is best for you. I always try to get the earliest. Now, with that said, if you're traveling with kids that can get restless and this and that, keep in mind the boarding doesn't start till about 11:30ish at Long Beach Cruise Terminal, and that's always subject to change, but that's what it's been on average, around 11:30. And so just keep that in mind that you're going to have to wait. So even if you get checked in, so let's say you get the earliest time. I mean, I've gotten in there at 9:30, but you'll have to sit and wait, right? So for me, I don't mind. I'm vlogging, I'm doing other things. But if if you've got kids that get restless and that kind of thing, you might want to choose one that as close to 11:30 as possible. So Janelle, I hope that answers your question. Oh, and keep in mind, check-in time and then boarding time are completely different things. And on your boarding pass, you're going to see a boarding letter number combination, A01, A02, B01, B0, and those are the boarding groups you'll board in. So I hope that answers your question. If you have additional questions, drop them in the chat. That's what I'm here for today. Hey, Hani, still working on getting the BC answer for your friends. No worries. So Rich is one of my good friends who works at the Tampa Cruise Terminal, a great resource for terminal questions for me. So just so you guys know, I am not the all be all, right, on everything. Luckily I have a lot of good friends that cruise a lot, that work at different terminals, all these things. So I utilize my resources. I have friends that are constantly cruising. CA Cruiser that's in here is one of my really good friends, Kathy. She's on either the Radiance or Panorama most of the time. So I've built these relationships and friendships. I have friends that are staff on the ships that I can reach out to. So I try to utilize all those resources to get this information to you. I'm not just pulling them out of a hat. And if I don't know an answer, like earlier, the rapid text question, I didn't know the answer. And I'll tell you, I don't know, but I'll try to find you a resource to help you. I'll do my best. And Rich is one of those. And Rich, thank you so much. I appreciate your help. If you have an extra key card, I'd recommend taking it for the lights in the cabin. Yeah, a very good suggestion, Richard, because you don't want to leave your key card in there. So anything, I've seen people use business cards, those type of things. And if you've seen any of my cabin tour videos, you'll notice that I talk about there's like a little slot right by the door where you can put a card in and that kind of thing. And it's not just for the lights. It's also for and I learned this the hard way, it's also for the outlets and stuff. So I don't know if that's changed, but I had my stuff plugged in to charge, but it didn't charge because I didn't have a card in there. So just keep that in mind. So hey, welcome in, Amethyst. I want earliest as possible. That's Amy, my friend Amy. I want earliest as possible. Want as much time on the ship as possible. So yep, absolutely. Hey, welcome in, Rob from Cruising on the High Seas. Okay, thanks for the information. No problem. Again, if you have any other questions, drop them in. Should we start at midnight for check-in time? Yeah, so it's midnight Eastern time. So for us in Arizona right now, we're on Pacific time. So it's 9 p.m. When we're on Mountain time, it's 10 p.m. So yeah, so it's midnight Eastern time, and that's what we do. My buddy Evan and I are like, okay, you ready? You ready? We have fun with it. It's just one of those things. So yes, midnight Eastern time the night before. Boat will not leave without you. Just people answering questions. Thank you very much. Donzo P, welcome in. Thank you for being here. When do you cruise on the Panorama again? You were on our last cruise in Halloween. Yeah, what's going on, Donzo? It's been a minute. I, as of right now, don't have anything booked, but I do have something in the works for July 16th, I think it is. And so those of you know, I've been cruising, well, I say solo, but solo without my family since the restart. But it looks like we're gonna start cruising together again. They're gonna go and get vaccinated, so we can start cruising together as a family. So that will be a family cruise for us, and that's the Panorama on July 16th. So thank you for asking, and it was definitely good meeting you guys on that cruise. A lot of great people in that on that trip. So when do I flip between Mountain Time and Central? March and November. So we just flipped over to Pacific Time, and then in November we'll go back to Mountain Time. Any other questions? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so I just want to kind of go back as I'm waiting for. Okay, here's a suggestion from Rich. Oh, Rich had it. Yeah, I think this is yes. Thank you, Rich, for bringing this up because this was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Rich is saying, please print your boarding passes. That barcode is very important. If you have it on your phone, they cannot scan it. The pier staff will have to print you one because you'll need it. So keep that. Keep that in mind. And I don't know, Rich, if that's specific. That's why I had it on my list of notes to follow up at the Long Beach Cruise Terminal. I'm guessing that's. I believe you told me that is fleet-wide, but I was going to double check at the Long Beach Cruise Terminal. But just keep that in mind until I can get that verified for Long Beach, because I know Rich works at the Tampa terminal. But it doesn't hurt. Just make sure to have it printed out. Worst case scenario, they'll print one for you. And I think if you see my video where I talk about it, it's as you're crossing across the street. If you forgot it or whatever, there's usually an employee that will print that for you. So it was definitely a great cruise. And I would love to do another Halloween cruise. I'm just, as it is right now, I'm running out of PTO. Jermaine says, honey, do you plan to have any group activities on the Radiance for the 13th cruise? I'm on that cruise also. So that is being managed by somebody else. Somebody else is the admin for that page. I'm in there, and oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Danielle. Danielle is the admin, and I know she already had some stuff planned. So none with me specifically. I will try to stop by. I do always try to make the meet and greets. So for those of you that like to meet and say hello, that's the perfect time. I will definitely make the meet and greet. I can't remember some of the other activities that she has planned. It's just tough because for those of you that have been on a 3-day cruise, they jam pack so much stuff into those cruises. So I try not to overcommit. So I will make it to the meet and greet. Beyond that, if you see me on the ship, stop me, say hello, whatever. But if you're going to be at the meet and greet, definitely. So, but Jermaine, are you in the Facebook group? Maybe you're under a different name, or maybe the name's not ringing a bell. But check the events section, and if not, let me know, and I'll find that for you and tag you in there where they are. Another great point. The porter's last call is 2 p.m. after that they're gone. That is correct. A good tip is that keep that in mind. I've seen people, because they had a late boarding, having to lug that luggage on because the porters weren't there. And that's actually a good question. I had that on my list as well for the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, because Richard, it's not that I know every terminal has maybe some nuances. So everything that you told me, I have my list to just kind of confirm for Long Beach, since a lot of my stuff is specific to those West Coast cruisers. But Richard, the question I had that I have on my list is, so when people have to bring in their luggage, they didn't check it in with the porter, what do they do? Because I know they have those scanners, right, for the small carry-on luggage. So let me know in the comments. What do you guys do with those big luggage when those people have to lug them in there with you? That was my question. But Richard, yes, a great point. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Red Frog Pub drinks. Yeah. That is a common staple for that embarkation day. So just another thing I have on my list here is to talk about the half price drinks. on that first day, on the embarkation day. It's from noon. And again, this is on the Radiance. I think it's fleet-wide, but on the Radiance, it's from noon to 2 p.m. If you go over to the Red Frog Pub, and it's not all the drinks, keep that in mind. There's on the sign, you'll see, I think it says like Caribbean cocktails, or if anybody knows exactly what it is, feel free to drop it in. I have a screenshot, I can bring it up. But it's a good deal. And you know what some people do? And if you're one of those people, tell me. I haven't done this, but like a little hack is they order I think there's beers and stuff that you can get at that half price. And they'll order like the bucket of beers and then put them in the cooler in their room, the fridge cooler, whatever you want to call it. So I know that a lot of people do that as a little hack, is they'll get them at that half price. If you've done that, let me know. I haven't done it, but it would be good to know and let people know. Yes, I use the same name. Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll have to check and see. But if you want to take a look and see, I know Danielle has made events, but if you don't, just leave me a comment in there, remind me, and I will tag you in them if you can't find them. Facebook user, I don't know who this is, but am I tired of the Radiance? No, absolutely not. I love cruising, so anytime I can get on a cruise ship, I don't really mind. The Radiance is a great ship. And for those of you that don't know, for me, even though I'm in Arizona, that's a quick drive for me, and I have every other Friday off at work, and it just works because I have to use little to no PTO time to do that cruise. So, and even if I didn't, no, I actually really like that ship. It's a great ship, great staff. Now, granted, would I love to go on like Caribbean itineraries and things like that? Absolutely. But right now, the only thing I have planned is in September, excuse me, in September on the horizon, I'll be going the Western Caribbean. I'm going to take a quick drink, sorry, so I can answer more questions. Excuse me. By 2 p.m., Linda and I are definitely in Margaritaville. That means you're already on the ship enjoying it, right? Excuse me. And the best tip, utilize the porters and tip them. I usually have 2 suitcases and give them $5 or so. They appreciate it. It's so much easier than dragging stuff out. I'll tell you, the porters are not shy about reminding you about tipping them as well. So, and listen, it's a small price to pay for that help. Evan and I watched this couple. I was getting ready to go out and do like a video tour of the secret decks, which I'm going to redo because the one I have, I didn't really like. So I haven't posted it, but I will do one on the Radiance. But anyway, and this couple huffing and puffing, and they're fighting and arguing and, just try to get those bags checked in. And somebody had asked this question, so I'm going to just say it in here in case somebody, whether here or on a rewatch, kind of wonders it. Somebody asked me, what if my boarding time is after 2 p.m.? Can I show up beforehand and drop my luggage off and just hang out? Absolutely. Come in, drop your luggage off with the porters. You could, before you could go to the Queen Mary and hang out, have some coffee and this and that. Queen Mary's not open, so you could just hang out at the terminal, people watch, and maybe even board early, So yeah, I would say if you don't mind just hanging out, come in early and drop it off. Hey, Sick Cruiser, welcome in. I always get the beers. Okay, so Meg, have you done that hack? Is that, I know that Beach Please has it on hers. Not sure. Okay. Will a wheelchair? What was that? What was Beach Please has what? Will a wheelchair fit in a standard ocean view room? That's a good question, Cheryl. I don't know. I did do a tour of a accessible room. I don't know if you saw that. It was, I think, an Alf balcony. And somebody had made a comment that it didn't seem like it was wheelchair friendly. So if it's a standard room, I would probably say maybe less friendly. I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you what, I'll add that to my list of questions. So yeah, I'm going to go back and go through these comments later, and I'll add that to my list. I'm going to not do it now, just not to delay the show, but I'll try to find out. But if anybody else knows, let me know. You're welcome. You're very welcome, Cheryl. Who else do we have here? Any other questions? Do your children have levels? Are they moving by cruising with you? And that's a good question. Yes, Paul. So they were moving up with us as we went up. So I think They're all at gold now. Maybe the youngest, who's probably been on one less cruise than them, one, maybe two. So she might be still red, but I know my wife and the girls are gold. They are not at platinum. I reached platinum, obviously, just because I was at gold, and I've done 7 cruises since the restart, and that's what got me to the platinum point. So, but that's a good question. Yes, if your children, wife, whoever, your significant other are cruising, everybody builds status. It's not just like one main person. So, good question, Paul. Awesome, thank you. You're very welcome, Cheryl. Absolutely, thank you. And I just want to take this opportunity for the ones that are here and those that will hopefully watch this on the replay. I do want to thank you guys for all those that have been watching the videos, that have interacting with me on Facebook, interacting with me in the comments on the videos. I'm doing this for you guys. I enjoy it. I love cruising. I have a passion for cruising, and the more that people are enjoying it and watching it and giving me this feedback, I'm building these videos. And you know what? I'm learning as I go along here. As I was just telling Rich when we were talking last week, when we were talking about stuff for the terminals and stuff, I said, I love it because I'm learning. So I don't come across, I try not to. If I do, let me know. I try not to come across as, I know everything. Just come to me. No, I'm here to help be a resource for you guys, but I don't work for Carnival. I'm not speaking for Carnival. I'm just speaking as a fellow cruiser that's on a cruise that will hopefully try to get you answers to certain things. I will tell you the one thing I do shy away from and will not comment on or talk about is any kind of the COVID questions like that. I will direct you right to the Be Safe, whatever it is, have fun, be safe protocols on the Carnival website. That's what I will do every time. Please don't be offended. Those things are changing all the time. And the last thing I want to do is tell you something that's incorrect. So I'd rather just direct you, because all I'm going to do is go read it and regurgitate or copy and paste. So I'd rather just let you just go directly. And if you're booking through somebody, maybe discuss it with them or call the cruise lines. So you're very welcome, Donzo and Steve, my buddy. So yeah, so that would be okay. I wanted to come back to this. Yes, I get a bucket or two during happy hour. Okay, is there a limit, Meg? I don't want to put you out there, but is there a limit to that? Do you know? And I'm just curious, because that sounds like an awesome deal. And I was just talking to some friends about that, and I said, hey, just if you're just a beer drinker, just stock up on beer, right in the beginning. So I'm just curious if there's a limit on that. So going back to my list of things, I'm just waiting for some more questions, and I'll stay on for probably I'd stay on until 5:30 my time, so another 23 minutes or longer if we keep going. Then there's more questions. So some of the other things people were asking about, is there a laundry room? That was just recently asked. There are these little laundrettes. I've seen people buy cases of beer on the ship. You can buy cases of beer on the ship? I know you could buy individual ones. I didn't know you could buy a case. Okay. That's an interesting one. That's a new one to me. I think it is one at a time. One bottle at a time? Oh, one bucket at a time? Okay, gotcha. Probably one bucket at a time, I think is what you're referring to. So I want to talk about I'm going to do or cover the laundrettes on the ship and where they're at. Luckily, I'll tell you something, and just a shout out to if you guys are ever on the ship, please go by and say thank you, guest services. For those of you that have enjoyed some of the stuff that I do, especially the cabin tours. Hey, Deb, welcome in. Thank you. Good to see you in here. Especially the cabin tours and things like that. Go and thank the guest services people, because they help me out a lot. The questions, a lot of the questions I answer from you guys, I go directly to them. Those are my go-to peeps, right? The employees. So the guest services are and I always reward them. I buy them cookies. I bring them snacks and this and that, because they're just such awesome people. They've given me access to rooms to do cabin tours of rooms that I'm not staying in, to do cabin tours for people that ask. So if you guys are ever on the ship, please go to them and say thank you for helping the beach life, answer our questions and all that. And if you want to buy them cookies or bring them cookies or snacks, they would appreciate that as well. So just a shout out to the guest services team there on the Carnival Radiance. So thank you guys. If you guys are watching this video, thank you, guest services team. I'll see you here soon. What else here? Oh, the daily activity sheets. That's another one that people And I know I've had this conversation with Carnival about why they don't tell you what's happening on the ship, because it's a common question that I know a lot of you see is what's happening on the ship. So I've done if you're in my Beach Life Facebook group, in one of the posts I have like from the April 1st itinerary, the front and back of the daily activity sheets. But that's from April, and that could have changed. And since then, a new cruise director has come on. It was Ryan Rose. It's now Dion. And I've heard when cruise directors come on, new ones, they might tweak them and those type of things. So, I would say, take that for whatever it's worth. Carnival just doesn't. They said, well, because it's always subject to change, we don't want to report what's going to be happening on each itinerary. That's their answer. So again, I will do my best to take pictures and scan those and put them on my Facebook group. So again, if you're not in the Facebook group, go join, and I will have them in there. Do you know which cabins besides Deck 5 are new with USB ports by the beds? I don't know. I had asked them that. Christine, I think you had asked me that before, and I asked Guest Services that, and the only answer I got was that the Deck 5 and I think it was Deck 3, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But Deck 3 and Deck 5 were the ones that are the newer cabins, but they weren't sure if all of them had the USB ports. So I don't know, honestly. They weren't sure, and that would be my source of information. I will try to get access to one of those new rooms and see, but that doesn't mean that all of them will have it. So, yeah, unfortunately, they didn't have that answer for me. Spa cabins do? Okay, good to know. Okay, so is it by the bed for whoever that was, Facebook user? Was that by the bed? I know that they have USB ports over by the, the vanity mirror and all that stuff. They have USB ports. I think Christine's talking specifically by the bed, because some of them, I know on the newer ships, I think by the Mardi Gras, right? They have them by the bed and all that. And I don't know. I've heard that they had it on some of the newer rooms. I just haven't seen it for myself. So the daily activity sheets, I was going to get those. Rooms on the Lido deck, decent. I haven't stayed on the Lido deck area. I think Evan did on the Panorama. Was it on the Panorama, Evan? Let me know. And he loved it. He said he loved being so close to everything, and it wasn't a bother. It wasn't noisy. But I personally haven't stayed on any of the Lido deck rooms. But Evan, yeah, let us know. I think you did on the Panorama, if I remember correctly. Or maybe you did on the Radiance in December. Let us know. Yes, by the bed. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Facebook user. Let me know who this is. If you can jump over to YouTube, that would be even better. I'm in a spa cabin. That would be so nice. Okay. Well, I don't remember in the spa balcony room, did it have it? I don't remember the spa balcony tour that I did. I don't remember there being a USB. I'll have to go back and look. For anybody that watched it and remembers, I don't remember. Be honest. How bad is Deck 1? Cheryl, that's really hard to answer because everybody's tolerance for the movement is going to be different. I luckily, from day one of cruising to now, 15 cruises later, have not had an issue with sickness at all, whereas others have. So for me, it wasn't bad. Deck 1, Deck 2, I think I've said it, Deck 1, right? For sure, Deck 2. And I didn't have a problem with it myself. I'm just double checking my little. Yeah, I stayed on Deck 1 on the Panorama, room 1437. And again, for me, it was not an issue. But if you are prone to seasickness from movement, you're gonna feel it. You're definitely gonna feel it. I hope that's as honest. That's as honest as I can tell you. Is like for me, it's not an issue. Anybody else that stayed on Deck 1 that is prone to seasickness, let me know. It was the Radiance. I loved it. No noise or other issues. Okay. Thank you, Evan. So there you go, Brian. It was on the Radiance that he stayed, and yeah, no noise, and loved it. So I'm staying on the Lido this trip. I don't know if you want to share your room number or whatever. Evan, if you want to share yours, since that was in the past. And then Brian, you don't have to share yours, but at least to give you an idea of where he stayed at, because I know there's a lot of rooms there. Hey, Sandy Bird. Okay. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate that. Best deck is 2, no movement. Okay. Yeah, and I've stayed on Deck 2 in these last 7 cruises. I've stayed on Deck 1 and Deck 3 on the Panorama. deck 8, deck 2, and deck 6 on the Radiance. And again, for me, it's the movement wasn't an issue. You could feel it for sure. To me, it just kind of lulls me to sleep. And by the time I get back to my room, I'm so exhausted, it doesn't really faze me at all. And what was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, if you're gonna get a room, since we're talking about room locations and all that, and the room that I had that was nearest the atrium elevators, and I think I've had that twice. If you are a person, I've said this before in the cabin tours or in the wrap-ups and stuff, but I'm going to just say here for those that didn't see any of those, if you get a room by the elevator, know it's going to be noisy up until probably the atrium bar closes, because you're going to get that atrium bar noise and you're going to get the constant elevator noise, the atrium elevator noise and stuff. So if you are an early sleeper, which I'm not, or a very finicky sleeper and stuff, I would say avoid those rooms by those elevators, because I guarantee you, between the people talking as they're going to and from, the noise of the elevator itself, or the noise coming up from the atrium bar, it's going to be a restless night for you. So just a little pro tip, avoid those if you are, again, like I said, a sensitive, finicky sleeper, or just a light sleeper, I guess is a better word. Avoid those rooms. So that would be my room tip for you. Excuse me. I am going to try to get some more casino information. Those of you that I know had pinged me about casino, I did a short video and I didn't release it. I just shared it with somebody privately. I didn't release it because I came through into the casino, filmed part of the non-smoking side. And as I walked over to the tables, I was told to shut the camera off. Even though casino host had given me permission and said, as long as the casino is closed, you're free to film. This uninformed employee unfortunately told me to shut the camera off. I didn't feel like arguing with them. And it's funny, even when I mentioned that it happened to me, the person said, "Oh, was it this gentleman?" And I said, "Yeah." They kind of described him, and I said, "Yeah." They go, "Oh, it doesn't surprise me." So anyway, and I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll capture a tour another time." So I will try to get some more casino footage. The room never bothers me. It's usually the showroom. I feel like I'm riding the waves in there. Yeah, I love it. Like I said, it just kind of lulls me to sleep. So, plus says aft decks, propeller movements, avoid. Gotcha. Okay, so on the aft decks, propeller movements, avoid. Okay, good to know. Water. What did I miss? Oh, do I need water? Probably. My zero sugar Dr. Pepper. I was just wondering, because I'll be using a walker while in the room. Want to know how hard it's going to be. Oh, there's times, and it's, it's funny because the seas are finicky. My wife and I were just having this conversation because we have some friends that are coming with us on the Radiance June 24th. I haven't booked that yet officially, but that's the plan. Anyway, sorry. The plan is, June 24th. But anyway, they're first-time cruisers that are joining us, and the husband is prone to motion sickness and all that. So I was telling them that the problem is there's times that the water is like glass, and you don't feel anything. And there's been times where people have said, "Oh, I could feel," and there's been times where I've been on the ship and you can feel it. Everybody's doing the drunk walk, even though you haven't had any drinks. So Cheryl, there's those times where you're probably going to feel it a little bit more. And you're going to feel that not just in your room. I felt it up on deck 5 and that kind of thing. So up on the Lido deck. So when it's moving, you're going to feel it pretty much anywhere on the ship. So, and I'll tell you, and this is what I told our friend, is that, if you know that you're prone to it, that people use Dramamine, Bonine, I think is the other one. Sometimes people get the patch, but just some things to keep in mind. Can you vape in the smoking sections? I don't vape, but I know people that do, and I believe they said they did. So if you're a vapor, person that vapes, please confirm that for me. But I know that on our Halloween cruise, we had friends that were up there vaping, if I remember correctly. So in the smoking sections, I'm going to say 99.9% yes, you can. But if there's somebody can fill in that 0.1% for me, please do so. A walker's tough if you're drinking. Yeah, Cheryl, that's the question. Are you going to be drinking and using that walker? So, yeah. That's a good one, Donzo. So there's that. Oh wait, is it? I think we kind of covered the word. Is it Dunzo? Um, okay, hang on. Let's see what else we got. Yes, they can vape in the smoking section. Okay, I thought so. I wanted to make sure somebody. I'm a non-smoker. Just a question. No, that's good. No, please ask away. Even if it's if you know somebody else that may benefit from it. And yes, cigars too. That's right, Mufasa. Cigars as well. And Meg says she vapes in the smoking section, so we've got confirmation. Is a balcony room significantly smaller than a suite? I have not stayed in a suite. I am going to be invited to film a suite here on this upcoming cruise, on the May 13th cruise. My friends, Richard or Donna, if you're still in here, have you stayed in a suite before? And have you stayed in a balcony? Or if anybody else has stayed in a balcony and a suite? And Kathy, I see you're still in here. Kathy, if you know the answer to that question, my guess is yes, but how significant, I don't know, and I want to make sure I get you a good answer. Kathy, vaping is allowed in the smoking sections. Yep, thank you. Sandy Bird, more on the way home. We felt the motion of ship on the Radiance and Panorama. Okay, yeah, and that's true. That's true. On the way home, and I don't know that they really need to go that fast. To come back. I don't know why, but I've heard that a lot where people were feeling it more so on the way back. That is very true. I wish. Let's see here. The patches from Amazon work great on me and no side effects. Okay, so that's for the motion sickness. So Christine says she uses the patches from Amazon and they work great with no side effects. Good. Thank you for sharing that, Christine. It's finally time. Oh, sorry. I'm on one leg, so I want to know if I'm going to get tossed around a bit down there. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll tell you, like I said, with two legs, for us, there's times where you could feel it. You could feel yourself kind of doing that. Like I said, the drunk wobble, and not the fun wobble, right, on the Lido deck. Yeah, I would say that there might be some challenges if there's some movement on the ship. I'm just gonna have to venture to guess on that one. Richard said it's a little bigger. The suites have a bigger bathroom, full tub, and shower, and you get a bigger area to dress. Okay, so for Jermaine, it was, I believe, yeah, Jermaine. So they're a little bigger. They have the bigger bathroom in the suites, full tub and shower, and you get the bigger area to dress. And again, Richard and Donna, my good friends, are going to have a suite coming up here, and I'm going to do a cabin tour of it. And so that will be up when I get back, after I get back from that May 13th cruise. Thanks, Richard. My last cruise. Oh, you're going to be on that one too. So by that time, it'll be too late. Thanks, Richard. My last cruise on 220, I had a suite. Seemed like a waste of space for the extra dressing room. This cruise, I'm in a balcony. Okay, gotcha. That's good to know. I stayed in interiors and ocean views for the longest time. I didn't finally do a balcony until recently when I got a really great deal when Carnival was doing sorry, I was looking at my microphone. I was like, oh man, I want to make sure I didn't accidentally mute it when I was touching it. But the $20 balcony deals that Carnival was doing, and I finally jumped on it. Drinks, June 13th. I will not. June 10th, I will be on there. I will be off the ship June 13th. But I will have ships. June 10th will be my birthday cruise. So I will be having plenty of drinks on that cruise. And I'll make sure to leave some for you. So let's see here. What else do I have on my list of things that I wanted to cover? As I'm waiting to see if there's any other questions. I'm going to try to talk about room service. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm looking at my list, and I mentioned this before my other video, but I just kind of want to reiterate, is I want to kind of just do these things in chunks and blocks, because I know it's hard to keep people's attention, especially when you're doing informational videos. I think even if you're doing these, day in the life and what we did vlogs, it's hard to keep people's attention for a long time. So I want to kind of keep mine as short, probably, 10 minutes max. Give you the information you need, and then and specifically to what I'm covering, and then kind of go from there. So, I'm hoping that will work. It's been good so far. I know some of my stuff, like with Ensenada and all that, some of them were a little longer. I try to break them up into different videos and that kind of thing. And I know in Ensenada, I know a lot of the places I went to, and that was tough. That was another thing I want to cover. So some of the places I went to, I try to be as honest as I can and go, okay, this is how I felt about it. This is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. I did get comments in some of the videos like, well, somebody's like, well, that's what a churro is supposed to be like when I was talking about the doughy ones. Not the ones that I have. I'm not going to sit here and tell people that, maybe that's how they like churros and stuff, but churros that I've had, I kind of joked back and just said, okay, well, I need to make sure to ask it for it well done next time. Because I don't know what to say. For that person, maybe that's the way they eat churros. But for me, and I'm not a churro expert, right? I hate to go down this rabbit hole, but I've had enough churros in my life to know that, doughy or undercooked isn't really the way that I've had them. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. So if anybody in here is a churro expert and maybe I'm wrong, let me know. But anyway, so just little things like that. When I'm giving you this information, I'm giving you, it's just like the elote, right? I talked about, based off of what my likes or dislikes are. I'm not a big hominy fan, and that's what that elote tasted like. But they do get good feedback in the sense, like a local answered me on there, and they're very nice on the elote, and they said, a couple things, that they only have white corn available to them in that area, in that region, and yellow corn is obviously going to be the better, sweeter corn if you're looking for that. And then they also mentioned that those carts don't have the ability to, like at home, they use the pressure cookers to make those elotes, and so that's why these ones were a little tougher consistency versus the elotes. Like if you're using, like this weekend, I was over at my buddy Evan's house, and his wife made us elotes. On Friday night I was over there, and she made the elotes homemade, and it was so good. She made it with a yellow corn, and it was the way that I like it and want it. So again, these are my opinions and my thoughts. I could be wrong, or on some of the things, but luckily that person, that was nice. They just educated me to the fact that in that region, that's what they have available, and why it was more on the harder side, because they couldn't get it softer through a pressure cooker and that kind of thing. We have a we have a 10 a.m. check-in. We'll be waiting all day for our check bags, or like a couple hours. No, they've been getting the bags. Well, they tell you that you can have access to your room at, I think it's 1:30. I think if you're platinum and diamond and suite, you can get a little bit earlier access to the rooms, which I'll find out here for the first time this next cruise. But they've been getting them to them pretty quick. I mean, by the time by the time 1:30 rolls around, the bags were there. They've done a really, really good job. So I would say, yeah, a couple, 3 hours. I mean, that's your check-in time is 10 a.m. Remember, the boarding time, and I think you maybe jumped in later. The boarding time the start of the boarding time has been around 11:30-ish. So depending on when you're boarding the ship, because on your boarding pass, you'll also see like a boarding group. So depending on when you board the ship, and by the time you go and do your muster drill, which please do first thing if you can, go get something to eat, get something to drink and all that. By the time you go to your room, there's a good chance. So I would say no more than a couple hours. I mean, that you'll have your bags. Heard anything or experienced the top 10 of Ensenada excursion offered by Carnival? So I'll tell you, and I don't know who this is, Facebook user. Let me know who you are, just so I can acknowledge you if it's somebody different than who. Yeah, it doesn't tell me your name. So this, as you can see, this is what it shows me. So this was what I wanted to do because whenever I go to a place, especially if I had been there a long time, in this case with Ensenada when I went back. Okay. Hello, Lona. Thank you for being here. Just wanted to acknowledge you. Excuse me. So this was what I really, really wanted to do, but the reviews on it were not great. I mean, there was mixed reviews, but for the price, and I'll tell you, here's why I hesitated again, because this kind of goes back to what I was just saying, right? Everybody's experience is different and that kind of thing. So I just had a not so great experience when I was on one of these guided tours when I was in Mazatlan. And from now on, I just prefer to do private tours if I can, or, private tours, just because I just don't want to be at the mercy of what the group wants to do. And I get it. I understand that poor driver has to try to accommodate everybody. But for me and for what I'm trying to accomplish, whether I'm vlogging or not vlogging, I want to see everything. I paid to see everything. I want to see everything. That didn't happen on my Mazatlan guided tour. So for that, for the cost, for, of potentially being unhappy with it, and then the reviews, I decided to skip it. So that's the best answer I can give you, Alona. I hope that helps. Don't try to sneak alcohol in your bags, and the bag should arrive in the time. Yes, good point. If the bags are delayed, I'm gonna get something to drink here, but excuse me. If the bags are delayed, most of the time it's because people try to sneak on alcohol or things that they're not supposed to. There's a list on the Carnival website of a lot of things that are prohibited. If they find something on that prohibited list in your bags, they're going to be delayed. Just keep that in mind. Thank you. That is a great point. Thanks for bringing that up, Donzo. Okay, great. Thank you. Have you heard if they're planning on reinstating Faster the Fun? We're cruising the Radiance 1010. Thank you for being here. Let me know who this is so I can just acknowledge you personally. But thank you for the question. I have not. And I asked, it's funny, when I was on the ship last, I was mentioning earlier, please thank guest services. They're my go-to people. I had asked them about a few things that hadn't come back, like the Hairy Chess Contest, the Dr. Seuss, Build-A-Bear. Somebody had asked me to Build-A-Bear and stuff like that. But as far as I know right now, to answer your question, no, it hasn't come back, but you're not cruising till October 10th. Hopefully it will. Things are changing all the time. So I would say just, kind of stay tuned to whatever source you get information from, whether it's, through me, through Cruise News, through Facebook groups, through whatever. But as of right now, no, it hasn't been brought back. So just stay tuned on that one. Yes, Platinum and Diamond can drop off bags immediately. Very, very good. Yes. Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, Kim. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the question. If you have any other ones, I'll hang around a little bit longer. As long as people are asking questions, I'll hang out. My wife is out doing her Mother's Day thing with her friends. We went to Vegas, had our time, and now she's out with her friends doing their little Mother's Day group thing. So I have nothing but time. So ask away. I agree. Those guided tours that include time for shopping are the worst. People are so rude, and you're at the mercy of the other people on the tour. So just because you mentioned it, I'm just going to, just for full disclosure, what happened on that one was the guide kept asking, this is in Mazatlan. It has nothing to do with Radiance, but I just want to explain why. And the experiences are, going to be varied, but he kept asking the group, do you want to stop here? Do you want? And most of the people in the group, for whatever reason, they didn't want to stop at most of these places. And we got to this like artsy place that was selling like artsy type stuff. And they're like, yeah, we want to stop here, which I had no desire to stop there, but I didn't want to be the only one saying, no, I don't want to stop here, even though everybody else didn't have a problem with it. Anyway, so the one place was the tourist trap, where it was the place that they were selling all this stuff. And anyway, so yes, and that's the thing. The guided tours are going to take you to places that they get kickbacks to and things like that. Let's just be honest. So they are what they are for sure. Sneaking on will send you to the naughty room. Yeah, they do have a naughty room there for sure. The brig and all that. They pack too many people on those ship tours. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, I think it was in Jamaica, and it was my wife and kids, and my mom was with us. So the 5 of us plus my mom, so 6 of us, and they were trying to pack us into an already packed van. And again, I know this is for the Radiance. I just want to kind of, since we're on the subject, to just kind of explain to you, when you're trying to make decisions for these tours, whether they're through Carnival or outside of Carnival, make sure to ask all these questions. So I'm bringing this up because if you're going to book through Carnival or book outside of Carnival, be aware that these are the type of things that happen on these tours. So there were 6 of us, and the seats were sporadic in the van. And I'm like, no, we're not going to come on and separate. I said, so I got frustrated. I just said, you know what? And I went and I paid extra. I don't care, for us to have our own private guided tour in Jamaica, because I was like, we're not going to split up. We want to be together. We're not going to split up in the van and all that. So anyway, those are the type of things that happen. So Christine, yes, good point. Hey, Timothy, welcome in. Thank you for the question. I've only been on the Mardi Gras. There are a lot to do on the Radiance. Well, that's comparing apples to oranges in the sense I haven't been on the Mardi Gras. I've a ton of friends that have been on the Mardi Gras, some that are probably in here. I know Kathy has. And Kathy would probably be the best because she's been on the Mardi Gras that I know that's in here. Kathy's been on the Mardi Gras and has been on the Radiance many, many times, more so than I have. So she's a good person to answer that question. So Kathy, if you're still in here, feel free to chime in. But here's what I'll tell you just from what I've seen on videos of the Mardi Gras versus the Radiance, there's definitely a lot more, especially in regards to dining on the Mardi Gras, and all the different things on top of that. But from a dining perspective, definitely a lot more to do on the Mardi Gras, and I'm sure a lot. It's a much larger ship. It's their flagship, their current flagship. So there's definitely a lot more to do in that case. I can just tell you, let's say from the Panorama to the Radiance, they do have the ropes course on the Radiance. They don't have the Skyride bike on. They have that on the Panorama. They have the Bolt coaster on the Mardi Gras. So yes, it's going to be a little bit more limited and things to do in that case. And again, that's a longer cruise for the most part. If you're doing a 3-day cruise or a 4-day cruise on the Radiance, because that's all that's available, unless you're doing a back-to-back, then it would be 7 days. So there's going to be, and I was mentioning this earlier, you may have just popped in, but they pack in a lot of stuff into those 3 days and those 4 days, especially the 3 days, man. They pack in one of the common questions that's asked is about the 80s night, elegant night, white night, what are the theme nights? So one of the tough parts is on the second night, on C Day evening, the second night. So on the 3 days, Saturday night, you have the 80s rock and glow party. That's at 8:30, and it's also elegant night at dinner. I'm an early diner anyway, so it's not a big deal to me. I have friends that are late diners. So that day, one time I was like, can you guys accommodate and try to eat earlier so I can make it to both the dinner and the 80s party, because that's like a must go to for me. So keep that in mind when you're booking your dinners. If you want to participate in those deck parties that are at 8:30, or maybe some of the shows or this and that, you may have to compromise a little bit on the dining time. Do your time dining, which I think is at 5:45 at the earliest, if I remember correctly. Do the your time dining so you can get in there the earliest possible. Again, for me, it's not a big deal because I'm an early diner, but you may have to compromise on certain days. So maybe do the your time dining. That way you can eat around the schedule of events you want to attend to. So, Timothy, I hope that helps answer your question. Like I said, I don't know if Kathy's still in here and can give you maybe some specifics between the Mardi Gras and the Radiance, but hope that helps answer your question. I wish they would start that again. Faster than Fun, probably not enough staff to do it yet. And in all the cruises that I've been on so far, from October till the April one, the last one I did, it didn't seem like it took that. I don't know that it would have helped a lot, to pay extra for that Faster than Fun, because everybody was getting on the ship and pretty quickly. So I think maybe when they get back to like 100% occupancy, because even though now, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I couldn't book this cruise because they said it's full. But remember, it's not full as 100% occupancy. It's full based on a number of different factors, right? They're whatever the CDC is allowing. And keep in mind, and we talked about this early on, Mufasa mentioned this earlier about staffing shortages and that kind of thing. So, they're not going to book more than whatever staffing that they allow, because people are constantly leaving off their contracts and things like that. So they're not going to book more than they can handle. So no Seuss, et cetera, short staff. Yep, exactly. So Evan saying anyone can drop their bags off in their rooms, but you can't stay in the room until after the cleaning crew is done around 1:30. Yeah, they're pretty nice. I try not to mention that too broadly, just because I know that John Hill, when he was asked, he said, no, don't do it. But I know that staff is pretty accommodating if you want to go drop your stuff off, just like if you have some check on, your carry-on stuff, and you just want to drop it off in the room and leave. They're pretty good about it. But again, I don't want to say that that's a normal thing, because John Hill had said, no, don't do that. So I'm saying, Carnival doesn't want you to do it, but if you want to do it, feel free to. Chicken place on the Radiance. Yes. Shaq's Big Chicken is definitely good eating. And that's so going back to the earlier question about Mardi Gras and the Radiance, the one thing that they both have in common is that's the only place you can get Shaq's Big Chicken. So, yep, that's right, Sandy. Thank you. With the short cruise, no need for gobs of extras, but the extra dining is a big bonus. Yeah, that's true. And I don't know who this is, but thank you to whoever it is if you want to let me know so I can thank you personally. But that's true. On those short cruises, and I'll be honest, a lot of people use that as a booze cruise. I'm sure you guys have heard that term used a lot. People just go there to drink and party and have a good time. So they're not really looking for a whole lot of those extras. Most families will do those longer cruises, the 7 days and things like that. So, yeah. But I'll tell you, um, you know, other than like the sea days, unless if you're not a trivia person, you're probably going to want to find other things to do, or that I try to find things to keep you busy. That's why I had said that I'll probably do my live Q&A, kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm going to do that from the ship May 14th, because on the sea days I'm not a trivia person, so I use those for a bulk of my vlogging. But I will take an hour or so to jump on and do a Q&A like this with everybody. So. For those that didn't see my message or whatever mentioning that, if you're watching this on a replay, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and you'll get notified when I go live on the ship. It's going to be during the daytime, depending on, a number of factors, including the internet coverage, because it is spotty on the ship. Another thing I wanted to do on this cruise, so I'm going to have to kind of work this. I was going to do the premium, value, and is a social. I think those are the 3 plans. I was going to do one each day. So I'll probably do, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know. I'll figure it out, like social and value on the bookends, and make sure I have the premium on that Saturday. So I'll figure that. Ensenada is on that Sunday, so I'll probably do the social plan during Ensenada Day, do value on the first day, and I'll do premium on the second day. I think that's the plan. But so that's another video I'll be making, is what I was able to do on each one of those internet plans, because that's another commonly asked question. Kathy said there's a lot more to do on the Mardi Gras, but if you want a medium-sized ship, you can compare it to the Sunrise or Sunshine. Still lots to do on the Radiance. Yeah, I agree. Yep, for sure. Why did Carnival change their banana cream pie recipe? It used to be so good when served on sea days, and now has a consistency of flan. I love banana cream pie. I haven't had it since the restart, so now you're gonna make me go try it so I can see. I don't know that I've had flan. So I don't know that if I like that or not, because I do love me some banana cream pie. I'll have to get back to you and let you know what I think of that. But I don't know. It's funny. You mentioned that. That's another thing for people to just kind of keep in mind is, for example, even on the ship, like people have said, oh, I really liked this, let's say Cucina del Capitano. Another person, I didn't really care for it, whether it be on that same ship or on a different ship. Different chefs, different staff, different people preparing food. There's always going to be that inconsistency. I can see that happen in land-based restaurants and stuff too. So, yeah, I don't know, but that's something you see a lot. They close the doors to the hallway so you can't get to the cabin. Yeah, and you're right, Christine. That's why I was saying I know that John doesn't want people to do that. I know Evan mentioned it in here. I normally don't mention it for that reason. I want to be respectful to what Carnival wants you to do and stuff, but I know it's been mentioned to other places that you can, that others have gone to their room and dropped off their stuff. But you're right. It's not something that Carnival really wants you to do. Hello, Spikers. Welcome in. Happy Mother's Day to you and all the moms. Wow, 70 minutes late. That's okay, Daniel. That's okay. Thank you for popping in. And short staff because I'm probably testing positive for COVID. Well, that's possible as well. I know that I've heard that happening. I do know that there's some staff that have left that are not coming back. Some that I've talked to personally and stuff that have said, nah, I just don't do. And one just more recently that I talked to, and I don't want to say who because I don't know if they have announced it publicly themselves, but somebody I just talked to recently that is leaving and not coming back. So there's that. There's some that have just said, hey, if there's another shutdown, I just can't be without work again, that kind of thing. So, when there's staffing shortages and they can't get people on, I know that the Carnival's, what Carnival's saying, and I'm not saying it's not true, is that they're having problems getting visas for people. And I'm sure that's probably maybe a large majority of it, but I think it's a combination of that. People, visa issues, COVID issues, and people just leaving and not coming back. Their contracts are ending. When I was on the ship last, I talked to many staff members, and a lot of them said, my contract's coming up and they're asking me to stay. And some of them are like, I'll stay. Some of them are like, I don't want to. So it's difficult because they're not able to get people to come on to fill those spots. So
We cruise with Hani on 610 and Kathy on 85. So Daniel, I'm going to be on that 85 one too. I don't know if you knew that. I just popped onto that one recently, so I will get to cruise with you guys on both of those. Lona, again, do we have to? Thank you, Lona. Lona, again, do we have to bring meds in their original bottles? No. Before, when I was taking my blood pressure medicine, I had a little pill box, and I didn't have the original bottles. If you wanted to, you could take pictures of them. I know somebody suggested that as a hack, take pictures of it if you wanted to. So you could do that. But no, I didn't. Even now, like after my gastric sleeve surgery, I have to take vitamins. And I have a huge pill box with all my different vitamins. And I bring those and not in their, they're all gummies. But anyway, and so the answer to your question is no, they don't need to be the original bottles. But just if you wanted to, you could take pictures of the bottles and have them with you on your phone. In case I don't think it'd be questioned, but just why not, right? I'm pretty sure John Hill said it's okay to drop off the bags and head out. No, he specifically was asked that, and he said no. Yeah, and again, he has to toe the corporate line, right? So he's saying what the beards are telling him to say. So that's the word from him, and that's the only reason why I've said that I didn't mention it. But it's okay, no big deal. Doors are always closed. As Platinum Diamonds, we open and go in. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I think what's happened is a lot of Platinum Diamond people do it, and then have told other people, I do it. Go ahead and do it. And that's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't want anybody to say, because John Hill will blast YouTubers. Those of you that follow John Hill, you'll see it. So don't go telling him Hani said. If you want to blast Evan. Say Evan told me. But Hani's saying don't do it. John Hill said don't do it. Hani's telling you don't do it. So if anybody goes and I see you saying it, I'm going to say, nope. I said nope. Here's my video, John. Go watch it. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. We know to drop off and go. Okay. Like I said, anybody do what you want. Please just don't go to John and say, John, Hani said to do it. We always go right to our room, drop our stuff off, then walk around ship. Again, like I said, I know many people do it. The Beach Life on YouTube, the Beach Life is saying, John said not to do it. I'm just do what you want. Don't go telling John that I said to do it. So that's the only point I'm trying to make here. I don't want to get blasted like some other YouTubers have because they put out information that's invalid and things like that. We're not going to go down that road. But anyway, my channel is all about trying to give you the fact. Even if I have to tell you no, I don't know, I'm sorry. That I'd much rather do that than just pull something out of my behind just to try to answer a question to make myself seem like I know more than I do. So I'll leave it at that. We'll always cruise with Hani. Is what I'm finding out. Yeah, so we got to cruise together. Is that February, was it? And then again, so Loney controlled meds should be. Okay, so somebody, I don't know who this is, Facebook user, but I think you're trying to tell Lona controlled meds should be. I mean, I haven't, and I don't know. I'd have to go and look at what the Carnival website said, but yeah, I don't know. People often get meds in Mexico, but you may be asked for a script in customs. Yeah, I brought back. Now, yeah, it depends on what kind of meds you're bringing back. So I've just brought back the Mexico version of Omeprazole, the Harper medicine, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. So that's the only thing I've brought back personally and have had no issues. So I know others bring other stuff that's a controlled substance or whatever that you need a prescription for. Again, I can't speak to that because I haven't done it personally, nor would I give advice on something like that. I love it when he'll blast YouTubers. Yeah, well, I mean, I get it. Here's the thing. I'm just going to take a minute to jump on the soapbox. The problem is Carnival uses John Hill to be their spokesperson, their mouthpiece, and all that. And John Hill, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is good for providing certain information. But he spends a lot of time with his corny jokes and this and everything else. And I know that's part of what a lot of people like about him. I'm not here to blast him or whatever. That's what that some people's appeal to him. I just wish he would spend more time answering these questions that us YouTubers are answering because they're not getting that information from Carnival, apparently, obviously. So if he did more of that, there would be less issues. Now, granted, I know, and what you're referring to, Josh, is when a certain YouTuber took the opportunity to use his platform to spread information that wasn't true, and it caused a big stir and all that. So anyway, but yeah. Yes, when the heavy doors close, it's only for platinum and diamond to drop off bags. Yep, that is the official word from Carnival, which is right, what Kathy's saying there. I'll see you 2 more times. Are you on the New Year's? I am not on the New Year's currently. You never know. I may hop onto that one. I'm off that week from work, so it wouldn't be a vacation issue. It's currently very overpriced, and I just don't know what we're doing. So if I did pop on it, it would be kind of like a last minute thing. We just got off the symphony yesterday, and the crew had 2 masks on the entire week, and I guarantee by the end of the week there'll be a huge outbreak of COVID from that ship. Okay. Dan Fields, yes, doing a back-to-back, 12:26 and 12:30. Okay. It's me, Barb, about the meds. Okay, Barb. Gotcha. Barb, is that Barb Parsons? Okay. Yeah, again, I don't know. That would be one kind of like with COVID, where I would say go see what it says officially on the website. So here's my answer to that is I've taken my blood pressure pills without the case. They were in a pill box, but I would say go see what Carnival says on our website for that one. Hot take, Guy's Fieri burger is slop. Okay. That is definitely an opinion of some for sure. So 99 hot take. Yes, totally agree. Not what I expected based on the hype. Yeah, here's what happens. I think that's part of the problem. I think that's what happens. I think even with Shacks, I think because it was so hyped up on the Mardi Gras, a lot of people that went and got on the Mardi Gras afterwards, and this is just based on my little friend group, right, of people I talk to on a regular basis, and there was this big debate about the Shaq's Big Chicken and whether or not. So there's the early adopters or the early goers were like, oh, it's great, it's the best thing ever, and then the people went afterwards because of the hype from the YouTube videos and the people and this and that, they were underwhelmed. And Guy's Burger has been around for a lot longer, and I think because so many people hype it up, I like Guy's Burger. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as great as some people make it out to be. I think it's a good burger, especially at sea. If those of you that have cruised Carnival before, compared to the burgers that they used to have before, when remember they had the little burgers and fries area, compared to those burgers, yes, because you have all the different options and things like that. So I would say in comparison to that, definitely much, much better, right? But I honestly, I'm a Blue Iguana guy. I love Blue Iguana. Not saying I don't like Guys, but I enjoy Blue Iguana and now Shaq's on the Radiance a little bit more. But yeah, I'll leave it at that with the whole Guy's Burger controversy. But he answers a tons of questions all the time. There's only so much time in the day, bro. Yeah, and I know you're going to come to his defense. I'm just saying he posts multiple posts. I get notifications all the time, and a lot of them are just, I don't know. In my opinion, this is just my humble opinion. That time, those posts can be spent. Like when he's posting these people that are, and listen, I know he's getting hate. We all get hate. You get hate. I get hate. Everybody gets hate, right? So spending time posting look how bad these people are. They were so mean to me and stuff like that. Spend that time posting questions, valid questions that are people asking and answers. That's, again, this is Hani's opinion. If you want to go tell John I said that, go ahead. That I don't mind. That I feel like he could use his platform a little bit better to stop posting those things about, oh, this person was mean to me and they called me a yak and all the other stuff, and post things that are valid. Again, that's just my opinion. That's all. Hani, we didn't get the New Year's casino offer until last week. Okay, I'll wait and see if I get a good one. Stop hell. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being honest. It's my one dude's opinion of John Hill. I know a lot of people like to come to his defense. It's okay. Hey, all right, Barb, gotcha. We had Guy's Burger on our last cruise and it was top notch. Yeah. Hype. Sorry for the bad spell. I got you. I knew what you meant. T96. Are they only adult shows on the ship? Well, let me see if and maybe you can re-ask the question. So the shows that they have, if you're talking like the, I don't know, for lack of a better term, Broadway type shows, like Soulbound and Rock Revolution is what's currently on the Radiance. No, those aren't adults only. Comedy show, they have a family-friendly show, and then they have adult-only shows. And then they just recently added, for those of you that are old-school Carnival cruisers, if you remember Quest, they haven't brought Quest back. But on my last few sailings, they brought back this adult game show. No, I don't say game show. I can't remember the adult night show. I can't remember the term of it. But anyway, I think it was on the last sea day evening or something like that. And that is an adult only show. So usually they'll tell you, if you're looking at the what used to be called the Fun Times, the daily activity sheet or whatever, it'll tell you, like the comedy shows, if it's adult or not and stuff. But those regular, the shows that they do with Soulbound and those are family friendly for sure. So I hope that answered your question, T96. If it didn't, let me know if you had something more specific. I like Guy's Burger, the pig and anchor, though I was not impressed with it at all. Tough beef and everything was cold. If it was before noon on day one, so that's probably why. Well, Sharkbait, that's one thing that I did notice is that if you get it fresh, if anybody watches or if you watch on the replay, if you're curious about pig and anchor, if you watch the one I did, I just was going to go there and film it and impromptu with some young guys that ended up doing the food review for me. But the funny thing, if you watch in that video, I think it was the brisket the kid had, and he ate it, and he wasn't all that keen on it. I think he mentioned it was on the dry side. But when I asked his little brother to go back and get more because he wanted to sample the sauces, when he brought back the brisket, they had brought out fresh brisket, and it was much better. And I think he even mentioned that in the video. So to your point, I think time of day for pig and anchor is very important. If you're going to try pig and anchor, get there when they first open, or ask them when they're going to bring fresh stuff out. But get there when they first open would be my hint. So Sharkbait, that is definitely a good point. Barb, agree about guys. The blue one is a better choice. Okay. Yep, John's my friend. I'm sure he's your friend. I got it, Josh. Radiance Comedy and Piano Bar quality stuff. I'll be honest again, just keeping it real and keeping it honest. The guy that they had on the piano bar, I don't remember his name. I would say it. It's not a big deal, but I don't remember his name. The last few times I was on the ship, I was not very impressed. I would usually go and hang out in the piano bar. He was very limited in his song selections, talked a lot more, I think, to try to fill the gap of not having to sing or get things recommended. I don't know if it's changed. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name was. If somebody remembers, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Just wasn't a big fan. But normally, yeah, I love the piano bar. I've had gastric sleeve. Will I survive the food on the ship and in Mexico? Well, Mickey, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I had the gastric sleeve surgery back in September of last year, September 3rd to be exact. And I went on so it depends on how long. And the reason why I'm saying these dates, so that way, because I don't know where you're at in your journey, but welcome to your new life if it's new. I love it. Again, I mentioned I did it back in September, and I'm so glad I did it. It is a lifestyle change. It definitely changes your relationship with food and all that, but that could be a conversation we can have offline. But anyway, to answer your question, so when I did 1 month later, I was on the Panorama, and I was with my best friend and his family. And I was trying to get them to give me smaller portions because I don't like to waste food. It's just the way I grew up. I don't like to waste food. So I was trying to get them to give me smaller portions in the main dining room. And the way that they do things and the way they're plated and stuff, they couldn't accommodate. So what I started doing was asking my friends to hey, if you're going to order this, would you mind just giving me a little piece? Because I can only eat so much, especially 1 month post-surgery. I can only eat so much. So, and if you could just tell me where you're at, maybe that will help me a little bit more to answer your question. I survived. So depending on where you're at, I went on a cruise a month after, then October 30th, which would have been basically 2 months after. And every month after that, January, February, I've been on a cruise. I have not starved. I was fine. Always found something to eat. So, but depends on your tolerance level of food, where you're eating. So just let me know where you're at in your journey. And if you want to reach out to me through Facebook, if you're on Facebook, just connect with me on on my Facebook group, The Beach Life on YouTube, or you can, I have my Facebook, which is Honey Beach Life. You can connect with me there, and we can have this conversation as well. But there, so hopefully I helped answer your question. If not, we can chat about it more. Yes, it did. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. Oh God, here we go. All the John Hill attack coming after me for attack. I'm just being honest. I feel he could do better. All of us could do better, right? I take constructive criticism all the time, and I work with it, right? I work with it because we can all do better. That's all I'm saying. We can all be better. Barb, Quest stopped on the very last night before shutdown. LOL, we won that night. Oh yeah, Quest is fun. For those of you who don't know what Quest is, it's like a adult scavenger hunt would be the best. And again, it's not here right now, but those that might be watching this video go, what's Quest? It was like an adult scavenger hunt, and it gets pretty risque, pretty naughty as the scavenger hunt goes on. So lots of clothing being removed, and yeah. So it's definitely not for those that are not open-minded about those type of things. This other one that they did, it's more of, because people have asked me, it's not like that. It's not a scavenger hunt like Quest. It's like, for example, they did like 3 different heats, if you will. Like, they had groups, and then each group did different activities or challenges, and then they would take winner or winners from each group, and then they had a final competition or whatever to see who were the winner or final winners of whatever they were giving away. So like the one that I was in, they were asking us the names of porno movies and whether it's true or false. We had to say if that was real or not. So that was the extent of it. So I don't want to get into too much detail because, again, if you're not the type that's easily offended, go. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. If you're easily offended, I wouldn't go to Quest or this other thing. I'm 1 year into my journey, and thank you for the great advice. I'll connect with you. I'm going on my first cruise in November. Okay. Again, I did it 1 month after, and I was fine. But I know people that have done it. Our friend that we just went to Vegas with, she's 1 year into her journey, and her tolerance is different than I know that some people that are, I guess depending on where you're at and what your tolerance level. I'm in a Facebook group of where I did my surgery and other people that have done the same. And it's amazing to me how even at people that are past me, like your 1 year, whatever, are having a hard time eating certain things that I went. So anyway, we could talk privately, but yeah, no, definitely can chat more. Hey, hello, John. Welcome in. Hey, have you seen any improvement in the boarding processes? We were on the Panorama a couple of weeks ago, and it was really behind schedule, like 2+ hours. Wow. Well, so I haven't been on the Panorama since October, and there was no issues at that time. So I don't know what those delays were for. Sounds like maybe specific. You said, let's see, we were on the a couple of weeks ago. So maybe just on that particular cruise, maybe it was delayed coming back. Maybe it had some kind of issues. Maybe it was just specific to that sailing, because I haven't heard it in general in any of the Facebook groups or anything like that of it being. And anybody that's been on the Panorama recently, let me know. But yeah, I know for the Radiance, and today we're speaking specifically about the Radiance. I have not had any issues with boarding in the last 5 that I've done, 5 cruises on the Radiance since January. So I don't know, John. I think maybe it was just specifically. So I don't know if you're hopping on the Radiance here soon or back on the Panorama or what, but yeah, I don't know of any boarding issues that I know. So maybe it was specifically on that one. Hunt is in the room, no wandering around the ship. Hunt is in the room, no wandering around the ship. I don't know what that means. Facebook user, I don't know who this is. So let me know. Let me know who you are first of all. And I don't understand. Sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to ask or comment on. Another Facebook user saying Quest is a secret. It is. I didn't go into all the details, right? I just gave a general. It's an adult scavenger hunt. It can get risque and this and that, but yeah, what happens at Quest stays at Quest, right? There's a secret code, one of these and all that they tell you. So yeah, saw the same boarding issues on NCL and Princess recently out of the port of San Pedro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if something changed. Now the last time I was on was in April 1st, yeah, April 1st was my last cruise. So I don't know if anything's happened between now and then that may have changed. John and Daniel is saying, so maybe, I don't know. If anybody else can chime in and let me know. Was on the previous boarding too. Radiance, we were sweet and had an early PAT. Yeah, I don't know. I'm as I mentioned, Barb's in there too, in the Carnival Radiance cruise page. I don't, Barb, do you remember anybody saying anything about that? I don't know. I didn't catch anything. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I didn't hear anybody complaining about the boarding process. But Barb, let me know if you've caught something that maybe I didn't. Barb, Quest hunt in the room, no wandering. Oh, yeah. So the scavenger hunt stays in the room. I think that's what you're trying to say. So in the Quest, everything that I was talking about that happens, and I did say a lot, happens in a contained room. Like when I was on the Vista, which is the last cruise I did before the shutdown, it was in the lounge where they do the shows and stuff, and that's where they hosted it. So, but yeah, everything is contained to that area. They tell you not to film and take pictures and all that stuff. That's kind of the things that they ask you to do prior to. It looks like I don't know if there's any other questions. I'll probably wrap up here. I do appreciate everybody that popped in and asked questions. If you still have questions, again, I'm just going to say this one more time because I know some people came in late. You can reach me on my personal Facebook page, which is the Beach Life on YouTube. I'm also, Barb and I are admins on the Carnival. If they're Carnival Radiance questions, you can ask them there as well. Carnival Radiance cruise page. If you're not in there, come join us over there. And then I also have and Barb is also a co-admin there with me, the Carnival First Timers group. And if you need links to any of those, feel free to reach out. I share most of them anyway in my different groups. Make sure, again, if you're not in your specific sailing group, to find it. If not, I have a link to it in our Carnival Radiance cruise page, or you can just reach out to me directly and I'll get it to you. What tests are you using currently for Radiance? I'm using the, I'm glad you asked. I'm using the, hang on one second. Stay with me, folks. So this part I'll say, because this is the test I've done. I normally don't want to answer questions and stuff in regards to COVID tests and stuff, but I can just tell you this is what I've been using. As far as I know, it hasn't changed. And if it changes, it's going to affect me too. So I definitely would try to stay on top of that. It's made by Abbott. It's the Binax now, but the key thing is you want the RX one, because there's another one that's not RX. This is the one that's proctored. You got to download the Navica app. They'll ask you to scan this code as well when you so this code is to download this one, to download the Navica app. And then when they come to when you do the test. So let me just talk about that real quick. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them. Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Barb. And hello, Kelly and Tammy's Journey. Welcome in. And you're very welcome, Kim. Let's see here. Please hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you. On that test, let me just kind of give you a general idea. If you haven't tested, haven't done it before, you don't open this box. So if you end up buying them, I ordered them online. If you end up buying them, don't open the box until you're ready to do the test. Download that Navica app, okay, that it's mentioned. Download that Navica app, and then create your account. And then if you have like for my kids and stuff, they're all like under me, sub accounts under me. And so when you're ready to do the test, you'll go in and sign into emed.com, say, I'm ready to do the test, that kind of thing. And there's videos out there that you can Google and find, or YouTube search and find. I haven't done one personally, but anyway, they'll walk you through it, and then you'll just go on there. It's very self-explanatory. You'll just go through the EMED, start a test, all that. You'll get connected with a proctor, and they'll tell you what to do. They'll tell you to open it up, and they'll tell you what to do. Like I said, there's videos on YouTube. I haven't done one personally. I'm not gonna point you in any specific direction, because then if I leave somebody out, they're gonna go, "Oh, you didn't mention my video." All I can say is search YouTube, and there's plenty of them out there. But this is what I use to answer Daniel's questions. That's what I use. That test doesn't pre-schedule a time, right? Nope. No, when you're ready to do it, that's the nice thing about it, is when you're ready to do it, you just go in, say, go to the EMED site and say, I'm ready to take the test. And I've never had any issue connecting with somebody within minutes to do my proctor test. Okay, guys, I am going to wrap it up. Again, thank you to everybody that joined me today. Thank you to everybody that asked questions. Thank you to all that helped answer questions. Again, make sure to get connected. I'm going to do a live Q&A again when I'm on the cruise ship, on the Radiance. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and then you'll get a live notification when I go live. Thank you. I'll see you around as well. So I will make sure to answer questions, and I'll be on the ship so I can go to guest services and get those. I'm not going to do it at that time, right? I'm going to jot down the questions and all that, and then I'll come back and answer them later on. So, but it'll be a good opportunity for me to answer questions that have already been asked, and to answer. And if there's any new questions, I can get it to you real time from the ship, so which will be a lot of fun. So let's give that a try and see what happens. Thanks, honey. I'm taking that same test for Royal Caribbean. Okay, cool. Good deal. All right, guys. Thank you again. If you have any questions, if you think about it, if you're watching this on replay, just ask them in the comments below. I get notified, and I'm always really good about answering people's questions. And if it's something I don't have an answer for, I'll add it to my little master list here and get an answer for you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.